Salutations everybody, it is Maddie here today, the deliverer of good and bad Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic news. Today, it's not quite that good. I'm really upset. So, if you guys did not know, a couple of days back I made a video about a rumor that there was a Knights of the Old Republic reboot / remake in development. It was originally in stasis and then it came out of stasis and is now full on in development. This information came from a Patreon post by Liam Robertson, who works on Unseen64 as well as Did You Know Gaming, so it was a reputable source. And today Kotaku came out and said that Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic rumor isn't quite true. So just like the last batch of KotOR news, I want to read through all the information with you guys and then I'll give my thoughts afterwards. Starting off, by now you may have seen a rumor floating around about BioWare Austin developing a new Knights of the Old Republic game. Don't get your hopes up too much, it's based on old info. If BioWare ever does make a new KotOR, it won't be for a very long time. Rumors like this pop up all the time, often fizzling just as quickly, but this one saw traction, making its way to the front of Reddit games as well as major video game websites like PC Gamer and GameSpot. Those sites combined Robertson's rumor with a vague tweet from BioWare writer Drew Karpyshyn, and voila, news. By now, the internet regurgitation machine shouldn't be too shocking, and then he follows that up with a picture of all the different random websites covering this exact news. Problem is, this is old info. What I've heard separately from people familiar with going-ons in this studio is that BioWare Austin did indeed play around with the Knights of the Old Republic prototype, but that it hasn't been greenlit and is not currently in development. I've also heard that the majority of BioWare Austin is working on the company's new IP, which is headed up by BioWare's Edmonton studio and should be officially announced at E3. That new IP is a Destiny-ish game code named Dylan, as Liam Robertson correctly reported in a separate Patreon post. Furthermore, I reached out to Robertson this morning to clear things up and he sent over the following email. Going to hold my hands up here. I think I just misheard some of the Austin stuff when I was talking on Skype, so I may have misspoke there. There's also the element that I had no notes in front of me and just sort of rambled on from my memory. I did not expect those few select statements to blow up. Oops. I'm used to having the opportunity to release follow-up notices on the Patreon with any updates and corrections. My bad there. Let me clarify that I don't think KotOR is a current project. From the people I learned about Dylan from, I did hear that they prototyped a KotOR revival at Austin a while back. I believe it may have evolved into something else since then or fizzled out since then. I'm still confident Austin is doing something Star Wars related though, and I'm confident in that. I actually did know they were contributing towards Dylan since I originally found out about it when I was researching Austin's Shadow Realm, so if I said exclusively, then that was admittedly a mistake. Let me just start off by saying that that's really deflating, because what was most exciting to me is that I was seeing a lot of the mainstream gaming sites pick up on this rumor. Now, it wasn't more so that that would make the rumor true, but it was more so that it was bringing attention to the Knights of the Old Republic name. So that's the silver lining here, in my honest opinion, is that, sure, we may not be getting the reboot for Knights of the Old Republic that was just promised a couple of days ago, but instead, we might actually be seeing just enough attention come to this license through the front page of Reddit, through all these major gaming sites and all the commenters contributing to that, where BioWare and EA would be silly to not step back and go, maybe we should go through with this. Because if you're just going to port a game to new consoles, then that's a lot of money to be made for a low amount of effort, if I'm being honest. And it's clear that there's a lot of interest in Knights of the Old Republic. My thoughts are this though, is that if Crash Bandicoot, for example, can make a return, I get that it's a old IP that people love very much, but at the same point, it's also in a genre that is very much dead at this current point in time, compared to bringing back an RPG at a time where RPGs are arguably its most popular. It would make sense to bring back KotOR because you'd make a lot of money. So I'm thinking that if, for example, a Crash Bandicoot game could make a return, then why couldn't a Star Wars RPG? Especially also not just the popularity of RPGs, but also that Star Wars is so damn popular now as well. Now, while the headline to this article says that the rumor isn't quite true, Jason actually said in a conversation with Mitch Dyer on Twitter that it's not false, just old information, and they were definitely playing around with the KotOR thing. It's just on ice, which means that nothing much has changed since the original story last year when we saw the article from Cinelinx, which I covered in the original video about this rumor, in which there was a Knights of the Old Republic remake that was being created by BioWare Austin that is now in stasis, and it seems it is still in stasis. So I'm not sure if they're saving it for a rainy day. I don't know what you're saving a remake for, to tell you the truth. The demand's always going to be there, and it's not like you're waiting for a right time because it's Star Wars and it's an RPG, so it just fits at any point in time when you decide to release it. So while it hasn't been greenlit and it's currently not in development, there is a good chance that perhaps after all this information has come out, all the interest has been submitted on this title, that maybe BioWare and EA will step back, take a look at this, and think maybe we should go through with this because there are a lot of fans that want it. Maybe this was the swift kick in the ass they need. Now, hearing that there's another Destiny-ish game coming doesn't really excite me, not because it's not Knights of the Old Republic, but just because I don't like Destiny all that much, and I'm not speaking for everyone when I say that. I know that a lot of people do like Destiny, but if you're gonna ask me if I want a Star Wars RPG in general or another Destiny, I think the choice is really obvious. So hearing this also isn't too encouraging on what they decide to take this project in the direction of. Also, like I did say in the original video, I don't expect Knights of the Old Republic to return under that name. I do expect BioWare to make a new Star Wars RPG at some point in time. I think that's inevitable, and I think the demand is too high for them to not do one, but I can't imagine it coming out under the Knights of the Old Republic name. I imagine it'll be under something else, and I personally just want to see a new Star Wars RPG, although I don't think BioWare is making good RPGs now. Maybe that magic will spark up like it did with the original Knights of the Old Republic, but that's just me trying to be optimistic here. I am genuinely considering getting into the MMO at this point. I am desperate for my Knights of the Old Republic fix, my fix of the Old Republic in general. And I don't want to break here, but I was reading some of the comments the other day, and a lot of people were talking up the MMO and saying that a lot of the storytelling for that game was actually superb. So it has raised my curiosity. I put 40 hours into it at one point, and I did enjoy my time, but it just made me go back to the original Knights of the Old Republic. So I want to get back into it, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on that as well in the comments down below, if this game's worth hopping into, because I'm considering it, and I know MMOs are big commitments, but I just really want that Old Republic fix, dude. Anyway, that's all the information and thoughts I had to share with you guys today. I'm sorry that as the news was so exciting that it's come swiftly crashing down on top of us around our ears, right, Calo Nord?
Damn this
Kotaku.
Bring this whole hangar down around our ears.
It just fucking kills me though that out of all remakes to go on ice, to not go through, it's gotta be the Knights of the Old Republic games. It's gotta be them. It can't be anything else. It's gotta be KotOR. It's gotta be the RPGs that a lot of us love so much. It's like the worst luck in the world. So my fingers are crossed that the Apeiron fan-made Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic remake gets done. But if not, I'm hoping for an official one as well. Time will tell. I'm just really deflated right now, and so I hope you guys can sympathize with me in the comments down below. I'm curious to see what you guys are going to be writing down there. Other than that, follow me on Twitter, like me on Facebook. The links are, as always, in the description down below. Do consider contributing to our Patreon. It helps fuel all the content there, and we also don't create Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic rumors. Other than that, stay sexy, stay active. I love you all. Peace.